Okay, the DDR PS1 video is taking way longer than I anticipated. I started the editing process about 7 months ago, and I'm currently here. So to keep myself from slowly succumbing to brain melt, I'm going to talk about something else DDR related that I've been hyper fixating on recently. In DDR 5th Mix, a Japanese exclusive on the PS1, there's this feature known as the Data Bank, a gigantic collection of fan-made chart edits for all the songs from previous games, not counting the spin-offs. You can probably guess where I'm going with this. I'm going to be playing all 3,771 of these charts. Okay, not all of them, but I'll get to that. The main issue with trying to do this challenge, surprisingly, isn't because of the massive quantity of charts I have to play. It's the actual playing of them that's annoying. I'll try to keep this explanation brief, but no promises. The thing to note is that 5th Mix doesn't contain the songs the edits are for. Ignoring the licensing nightmare that would cause for Konami, there obviously wouldn't be enough space on the disc anyway. This means you have to export the data onto your memory card and load it into the game that contains the song. And this process is very stupid. Unlike PS2 memory cards, which use bytes to store data and can theoretically be any size, PS1 cards use blocks and can only hold a maximum of 15. Factoring in that DDR save data requires 1 to 2 blocks, you can't have more than 13 or 14 edit files on a memory card. Dividing the 3,771 edit charts by the 13 maximum card size, at best, you would need to do this process 291 times. So I said, screw that, I'm doing this on emulator. Which doesn't solve the memory card issue, but it is significantly less tedious. Some absolute saint went through the laborious task of exporting each chart as individual save blocks. So using the included Dexter program, you can just drag and drop them into a memory card file for use in emulators. So now that we're on the same page, here are the general guidelines I'm going to be following in the later videos. First, I won't be doing any of the versus charts. There are single, double, solo, and versus charts, and versus requires 2 players. That's pretty self-explanatory. Second, if possible, I will play with dance pads and only move to controller if I'm physically incapable of beating it on pad. This will most likely apply to the double charts since I'm not as good at using 2 pads as I am with only 1. Third, I'm only trying to beat each chart, not FC everything. I'm almost positive some of these are troll charts, and trying to perfect all of them would make me go insane. Plus, there's gonna be some extra leeway to clear these with pads so I don't get exhausted from replaying songs just because I missed a single note. As for structuring the videos themselves, I'm gonna split them up based on each song, not each block from the database. Considering most of the blocks have around 500 edits, I'm not exactly excited in editing 30-hour videos, so this will allow me to post more frequently without wanting to die. Some songs have around 5 to 10 edits, and others can have up to 130. So the length of each video is going to vary heavily. I'll most likely split up the songs with a ton of edits based on each block, just to further avoid them ballooning into multi-hour long videos, especially since you would have to hear the same 2-minute song repeated like 100 times. The order in which I will play each song will be based on the latest entry of DDR they appear in. Now, I don't know if you know this, but PS1 DDR is very janky, so the faster I get to the more polished engines, the better. This challenge is going to take an extremely long time, so I'm hoping I can upload these videos frequently enough to bridge the gap between my bigger 100% videos. Again, no promises.